Hi, this is Mark in Russia podcast, and this is Mark. Today I'm going to try something a little bit different. And rather than pet peeves, I think I'm going to just tell a joke. And I'll introduce some new vocabulary that you need to know to understand this joke. Only this time, rather than have the vocabulary at the end, the vocabulary will be at the beginning of the lesson. So, here's the vocabulary. First word is hearse. Here's a picture. Hearse is the vehicle which the body is in during a funeral. Number one. Number two, funeral procession. That's the hearse, the other people and the cars on the way from the funeral, on their way to the graveyard for the burial service. Another word is leash. Leash is the thing that you hold in your hand, and the other end is attached to your dog, so you can go for a walk without your dog running off. Okay, here's the joke. There's a man who goes to a certain small shop every morning and buys a newspaper and his coffee. He was in there one morning paying for his coffee. He looked out the window and he saw something very, very strange. It looked like a funeral procession, but a very, very strange funeral procession. First of all, there were two hearses, not one right after the other. Behind that was a man walking, all dressed up nicely, with a dog on a leash. And behind that man were about 200 men, all one after the other, slowly marching behind the man with the dog. Well, the guy grabbed his coffee, grabbed the newspaper, went out onto the street, walked up to the man with the dog. I mean, they were both walking, of course. They didn't stop. And the man with the coffee said, "Listen, I know this is terrible. I feel awful asking you this, but this is the strangest looking funeral procession I've ever seen. First of all, who's in that first hearse?" The man with the dog said, "Well, it's my wife." "Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that. What happened to your wife?" "My dog killed her. He attacked her and he killed her." "Oh my God, that's terrible." "Who's in the second hearse?" "It's my mother-in-law." "Your mother-in-law? Oh my God, what happened to your mother-in-law?" "My mother-in-law tried to save my wife and the dog killed her also." Both men continued to walk side by side, slowly and silently, for a few minutes. Then the man with the coffee turned to the man with the dog and said, "Can I borrow your dog?" The man with the dog said, "Get in line." Anyhow, that's an American joke. And now that you know the vocabulary, hopefully you understand it and find it a little bit humorous. Well, this is Mark in Russia's podcast signing off today. Goodbye.